Thanks for being here. So settling in to a seat that feels nice and supportive. Feeling into the grounding sensation of each exhale. Really trying to experience the emptiness of the lungs as we complete that exhale. And then as we flip to the inhale side of our respiration, feeling the nourishment as we draw that in. There's this young boy who is learning this game that is not remarkably dissimilar to chess. He's learning this from his grandfather. And it is a huge portion of this young boy's day. Each and every day. Almost as if this game is the primary thing that this young boy is being taught. Let's just give ourselves just another 20 seconds here. Just feeling our body respirate. Feeling our body settle here. And then when it feels appropriate, if the eyes are closed, let's allow them to open. Let's make sure that we keep our chin or get our chin to a nice neutral plane, and then retract the scapula so that we broaden out the shoulder girdle. And once you feel like you've maximized that width, let's just turn our gaze over towards the left. Maintain that kind of active retraction of the scapula as we rotate, and then relax the head back to neutral. And really try to feel a re-engagement of neutrality before we get that scapular retraction. And turn our gaze towards the right. This nice little cervical spine rotation. And then you relax your way back to neutral. Try to feel the head and skull realign the cervical spine. Retract the scapula, and let's turn the gaze to the left. And we'll relax back to neutral. Retract the scapula, and we'll turn our gaze to the right. Relax back to neutral. Feel your body reset, and then take your right hand over the lateral edge of your left thigh. Left hand can come behind you, but it doesn't necessarily need to. It could be on your left hip. 4 fingers could be in that anterior hip crease, just whatever feels comfortable with that left hand. And we're going to follow that right hand with the full rotation of the torso and cervical spine. And then we'll relax back to neutral. Set your neutral, and then left hand comes over to the lateral edge of your right thigh. We'll once again rotate. And relax back to neutral. Reset. Right hand to the lateral edge of the left thigh. Follow the full rotation, cervical spine rotation to the left. And then we're going to keep the right hand where it is, kind of keep the shoulder girdle roughly where it is, and you're going to let your head turn towards the right shoulder. And as the head turns toward the right, see if there's more space for the left shoulder to work behind you. And then relax back to neutral. reset cervical spine, reset thoracic spine, reset lumbar spine. And then the left hand comes over to the lateral edge of the right side and we'll turn towards the right. Full cervical spine rotation. Really think about how we can get into this twist. And then when it feels appropriate, the gaze is going to go towards the left shoulder. And as that happens, just see if there's more room for the right shoulder to work behind you. And when you feel balance left to right, whenever that is, we'll relax back to neutral. And let's transition to hands and knees, tabletop really quick. I mean, you don't need to do that really quickly. Just a brief stop at hands and knees, tabletop. We're going to splay the fingers out nice and wide. Really think about creating the full engagement of the arm musculature up into that humeral head joint, and then soften the scapula. And as you soften the scapula, think about broadening out the anterior shoulder girdle. So it's not a loss into a dipped lumbar spine, but instead it's just a broadening of the front of your shoulder girdle. And try to keep that softness across the shoulders as you curl your toes underneath you. And one time, we're just going to roll back into a nice little down dog. And you can pedal this out. Just a little exploration of the posterior chain, trying to maintain our softness across the shoulder girdle. And then when you feel like you've had enough, let's come back to tabletop. We'll flip the tops of the feet and we'll sink our way into child's pose. And just allow the weight to drift back towards the sacrum and continually exhale, soften, become more at ease. Hands can be placed wherever the shoulders are the most responsive or positively responsive. And we'll just give ourselves just another 30 seconds here. When it feels appropriate for you, let's pull ourselves forward, two hands and knees tabletop, and extend our legs out in front of us. A little staff, or modified staff, because we're going to take our blankets or towels and from a shelf fold, go hot dog fold, and repeat that process so we end up with two hot dog folded towels. Kind of a bolster-like approximation that we're gonna slide underneath the knees. The goal here is to have some bend. So if you don't feel like you're getting enough bend, you could roll one or both of the blankets to create a little more density. You could also just bend the knees and tuck the arms underneath the thighs if that feels comfortable for you. But once we get some softness in the lower half of the posterior chain, let's take ourselves forward into a fold. And as you settle into this fold, instead of worrying about the high calf insertion or the mid hamstring tissue, think about relaxing across the anterior shoulder girdle so that instead of collapsing forward, we're broadening and allowing the sternum, the center of mass, to really work forward while the shoulders broaden. so that instead of our arms being out in front of us, the integration of the shoulder capsule remains and the sternum continues to work its way forward. And that may mean that we don't go as far into our fold as we might feel accustomed to, and that's okay. We are expanding some different musculature. Pay attention, particularly on the inhale side of your breath, how the musculature below the scapula, so kind of stuck, generally relatively rigid, intercostal musculature and transverse musculature across the back of the rib cage. How does that feel as you breathe, as you continue to open up the shoulder girdle? Torso continues to be led by the center of the sternum forward. You try to feel the musculature across the posterior chain, but really some of the more rigid musculature that is generally pretty tacked down to the ribcage structure, the wrapping thoracic spine. And we'll give ourselves just about 40 more seconds here. This young boy spends day after day, hour after hour, participating in this game. In the game, the board looks very similar to a chessboard. The pieces are not chessboard-esque, but they are black and white, and they are small, different kind of formulations of rocks. And similar to chess, they have different abilities to move when it feels appropriate for you, as it feels appropriate for you. Let's bring ourselves back up into a nice vertical spine and just allow the body to respirate here, be soft here. Think about the width of the shoulder girdle and the fluidity of your inhale respiration, the depth of your exhale respiration. And then let's take our blankets out from underneath our legs. And we can keep them stacked if you have them stacked. And we're going to place those behind us so that we end up with a bolster-like approximation behind us. And then we're going to bend both knees if they're not bent and let the knees fall to the left. And let the left hand come to the right side of your mat, so across the propping, and then lower yourself down onto this propping. There's a couple of things that we need to be aware of here. We want to make sure that our cervical spine is supported in some way. How that feels most beneficially for you will be totally up to you. You can turn the gaze towards your left, towards our original right, or you can turn it towards your right, our original left, or you keep your forehead straight down towards the mat. One key and one kind of central point of awareness that we're bringing into the shape is we do not want to allow the anterior shoulder capsule to collapse here. It is super easy, especially if you have any tendency for hypermobility in the shoulder capsule, for the humeral head to kind of just fall out of socket here. And so we're making sure that we have some level of scapular retraction so that there is just some level of engagement across the shoulder girdle. And as long as we do that, shoulders are protected, and we are fine to settle into this really deep lumbar twist. So one thing that sets this game apart from chess is that each participant is allowed to choose a different combination of pieces. And so there's a total kind of point allocation, and you draft a team more or less. And over the years, people's teams kind of tend to evolve as they age. And everyone kind of eventually gets to a uniform team that works best for their play style. Really make sure you maintain some level of activity across the shoulder girdle. And then really make sure that you feel into the depth of your respiration here. Give ourselves 45 more seconds here on this first side. And when it feels appropriate for you, let's press our hands into the mat or onto the floor and help yourself back up into seat. We'll bring our knees back to neutral. And just clasp here, either on the legs, on the lower or upper legs, or underneath the legs onto opposite wrists or interlacing fingers, whatever feels best. And we're going to turn our gaze in the opposite direction of the gaze that you had. So wherever the cervical spine was rotated towards, likely can feel that, we're just going to rotate the other way. And try to compress the distance and the energy between your torso and your thighs here. Space out the think about spacing out the area above the hip girdle here, so that low lumbar kind of sacral connection, the union between the lumbar and the sacrum. Just space that out as you rotate. And then we'll come back to neutral. Get the spine upright, let the knees fall to the second side, the right side. Right hand comes over to the original left side of the mat. We work ourselves down As we settle into this twist, we want to once again think about bringing activity across the shoulder girdle, just a subtle scapular retraction so that we feel integrated at the shoulder joints. And then just settle into your twist. And so as this young boy started to grow older, he started getting more and more competitively involved in playing this chess-like game. And he started to win some small little local tournaments. And that led to some bigger regional tournaments. And that led to some bigger tournaments. And then he started competing kind of globally, or as globally as things were at that time, in these events in his age group. And he started to win some of these events. And when he wasn't participating in these events, he was practicing with his grandfather. One thing was, a couple things were true. One, he was very good at this game. But two, he was never and could not imagine ever being as good as his grandfather was, as his teacher was. Remember, you just want to keep that awareness across the shoulder girdle. You're ensuring that you are not anterior collapsing either side of the shoulders. And you are putting your cervical spine in a position that feels impactful and beneficial and easy. Feeling the ability to fully respirate. The ability to fully experience the lumbar rotation. Give ourselves about 60 more seconds here on the second side. Just feeling your body's ability to both maintain integrity and soften and relax. When you land on the end of your exhale, feel the lungs empty. When you finish that full pull on the inhale, feel the expansive nourishment of the inhale. when you feel ready, let's let our hands slide to the mat. We'll press ourselves up, unwind, twist. And once again, let the knees bend. Grab the lower or upper legs or interlace the arms underneath the thighs, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And just turn your gaze in the opposite direction. You had your cervical spine. Try to feel some unwinding here. And when it feels appropriate for you, we'll bring ourselves back up into staff. Let's take the top blanket off of our stack and go back to a shelf fold and then just roll that. So you end up with a nice dense roll, and put that at the end of your first blanket. You may want to have enough room for your head to fall over on your mat. And then we are going to use these props a little bit differently, and this may create a little bit of cervical spine or breathing respiration discomfort. Just see if this works for you. I'm going to try to give some elongation to the cervical spine. So the geometry of our torso here is going to depend on where the sacrum goes. The key is we want the middle of the cervical spine to land in the apex of that blanket rolls arch. And then ideally, we're letting the head fall back. And we're relaxing all of this anterior shoulder girdle space that we've created. Try, if it's accessible for you, to let the palms face upward towards the sky or ceiling. And see if it's possible for you, comfortable for you, to allow the back of the head to work to the mat. Which may, for some of us, maybe most of us, maybe the majority of us, cause a little bit of discomfort in the way we respirate. When our head is below our torso, respiration can feel a little more challenging. I will offer the opportunity to kind of sit with that for a while, but if it feels like it's too much, you can just remove the blanket underneath the torso as the first step. And if that's not enough, you can unwind the blanket roll so that there's less thickness to the roll supporting and lifting the cervical spine. And let's just really allow the body to go into its ease here. So this young boy growing up now really wanted to put his focus and effort into learning this game, into observing the masters of this game. And so when he wasn't playing his grandfather in this game, he was watching his grandfather play in this game. And he was studying the people who were skilled enough to not only compete with his grandfather, but sometimes to beat him. And he would keep this notebook where he would write down every move. He would write down every team selection. And he would match up those team selections with every move. And when he wasn't watching people play, he was playing out games in his head from the notes that he had taken of these games. We'll give ourselves about 90 more seconds here. Maybe one more big, full inhale breath and a deep releasing exhale breath where you feel the weight of your head just working down towards or into the mat. And eventually, when it feels appropriate for you, let's bend both knees, roll our way off the blanket underneath us and remove that, and then pull the blanket from underneath the neck. And just allow your head to kind of explore the space here. Just a little movement to capture and encapsulate that additional space. And then we can take our non-rolled blanket and roll that. And we're going to take 2 rolls of the blankets and set them next to our thighs. The distance between the lateral edge of your body and where you place the blanket will be dependent on how open we externally rotate here. So just think about, if you want the hips to be deeply open, you can take those blankets a little bit further away from your body. If you want a little bit more support, you can really tuck those things next to you and be more cradled and held here. And then just allow your body, your breath, your being here to relax into this supported and held position. And so this young boy spends his time now more focused in this notebook, just replaying games and recreating moves. There's one day where he feels like he's had a true breakthrough in gameplay. And the next time he enters a tournament, an age appropriate tournament, he implements this strategy. And as he expects, it works, and he wins the tournament kind of without trying. And the next tournament, and the next tournament. And he works his way up until he's recognized in his age group as the undisputed best player in the world, or at least as big as the world is at this time. Coming home from this big gathering of players and coming home as the undisputed best player in his age group, he is challenged by his grandfather to a game. His grandfather kind of playfully says, I'm hoping you can give me some competition. And he implements the same strategy that he has implemented in these recent tournaments against his grandfather. And for the first time ever, he wins. And not only does he win, but he wins handily. Like it's not even a game. And his grandfather asks him, what he changed, and he won't share the secret. He says, I figured something out. I have a strategy, and I don't think it can lose. Feeling the landing at the end of each exhale. We'll give ourselves about 40 more seconds here. when it feels appropriate for you, as it feels appropriate for you, let's bring our knees back to neutral so the kneecaps can point towards the ceiling. We can take those props out from underneath us. You don't really need to move them, but if moving them feels better or allows you for more appropriate space, feel free to do so. And just think about positioning your body so that both sides of the ilium, so that the sacrum sits in a balanced and even weight distribution, so that the shoulder girdles do the same. And then let's take our left arm and see how it feels to go palm down. And the nice thing here is we can all probably get the palm down, right? We may need to straighten the arm a little bit more, but most of us should be able to get to that internal rotation position. And then we're gonna do the same thing with the right hand. So whether your elbows are bent at 90 degrees or whether you have more straightness in the arms, we're gonna take an internally rotated position. And then from wherever we are, and we do want the hands to be able to completely relax somewhere. So we need to have enough room in our shoulders that our hands can relax. We're going to see if it feels appropriate with ideally, without moving the depth of the elbow, the position of the elbow, to tuck our hands underneath us. Now, you may want to lift your tailbone to do that, but we're going for a little weighted or encouraged internal rotation. That might not feel right for you, and this may not feel appropriate for you. So if adding the body weight doesn't help or doesn't feel positively impactful, then just go to an internal rotation for a moment. We're not going to be here super long. But we're going to try to work some room and space into our shoulders here. Let's give ourselves 90 more seconds. And so now this young boy starts entering non-age restricted tournaments. And he implements the same strategy and he starts winning them. And people continually ask him about his strategy, and all he'll say is he's had a breakthrough. And as the years go on, he starts to release a little more information. He starts to talk about this breakthrough and how he doesn't believe it's possible for him to lose. Well, he's come up with this mathematical equation. He moves the pieces in the right order. It's just a certainty that he's going to win. And sure enough, he starts winning bigger and bigger tournaments. He never loses a game, and eventually he becomes the world champion. When it feels appropriate for you, as it feels appropriate for you, let's release those arms from underneath us if they're there and turn the palms skyward or ceilingward so that you get back into a little external rotation. Now you can keep the arms by the side, you can put them out at cactus or T, but we are going to start to add a little dynamic rotation to our knees. So just have enough space there that you can do that. And feel as you are moving the knees how the shoulder girdle is anchoring you. Or maybe not anchoring you, but just feel across the shoulder girdle the response to this dynamic knee sway. And then the next time that the knees fall over to the left, let's let them pause there. Just a little brief static hold here. Give ourselves 30 more seconds on this first side. And when it feels appropriate, we'll bring our knees back to neutral. And then let the knees fall over to the second side. And just breathe into this rotation. Feel that anchoring across the shoulder girdle. We'll give ourselves 30 more seconds here on this second side. When it feels appropriate, we'll bring our knees back to neutral. Realign and reorganize your body, and then ask yourself if there's anything that you could offer yourself that would be advantageous, beneficial, impactful before Shavasana. And if there is, let's offer that to ourselves now. If you have everything you need, if you have everything you want, if you're ready for some stillness, then let's drift into a shape where we can appreciate some stillness. Settle into that. And so after winning this global championship, becoming the #1 player in the world at any age, this young man goes on for years and then decades, never losing a game. He has this system that cannot be defeated. So much so that he starts playing games blindfolded. He can listen and hear when his opponent is moved. He makes the move to the next spot in his order, and when it is apparent that there is a Checkmate. He takes off his blindfold, shakes the hand of his opponent, and collects his trophies. And that happens until he's a very old man. Just settling here. And so after years and decades of never losing, the process of winning a game becomes too easy even for the blindfold. So one day he is doing this public display in which he is playing game after game after game in a blindfold. And as the game starts, he puts on the blindfold, he plays whoever is sitting down in front of him and then seated in front of him. And when he wins, he takes the blindfold off, shakes their hand, and they move on. And this traveler, this kind of dusty old man who's carrying his own private board, has traveled all the way across the desert to play him, sits down in front of him, says, "Do you mind if we use my board?" They lay out the board. The old man, this grand champion, doesn't even look at it. We can use any board you want to. You can use any board you want to. He ties on his blindfold, and the game begins. And he makes his move, and he listens, and he hears when the opponent makes the move, and until he makes the final move. He says under his breath, "Checkmate," and he takes off his blindfold to shake the traveler's hand. But when he takes off the blindfold, the crowd gasps. His eyes open and he adjusts to the light. We'll start to bring some movement to our fingers and our toes. And it's immediately clear to everyone watching that this old man is lost. That the board he was playing on wasn't quite regulation. And he's left the equivalent to his king wide open for an attack. Movement up into your wrists and your ankles. And so this dusty old traveler defeats this undefeated grandmaster. Movement up into your elbows and your knees. Movement up into your shoulders and your hips. Neck, head, jaw, eyes, tongue. Eventually, the entirety of your body moves, and we'll utilize that movement to transition our way into a seat. Eventually finding this seated space and letting your spine get tall, breath get fluid, and eyes close. And we'll inhale our hands together at heart center. Over the course of the next 7 days, can you remind yourself that anyone who is absolutely sure of anything has put their mind into a winter's deep freeze, and see how that impacts your experience. Thank you so much for being a part of this evening's gentle, special, restorative practice, and for being you. Namaste.